afternoon, friends, and welcome to this week's vlog. Guess where I am coming to you from? I'm here in my new home office. The acoustics seem to be a lot better than the last time I came to you for the empty house tour. We have definitely filled up the space, and isn't it just so funny? The moment I sit down to speak with all of you, I literally have 4 of 5 dogs here with me. Remember, I have a 5th dog because one of my children is in Mexico and we have been watching their dog for the last almost 2 weeks, and that means he also did the move with us, and that was fun. That was a great time. Anyway, we are all here. We are settling in. I cannot say settled in. It has been just about 48 hours and it has been quite an odyssey. I don't want to say that I'm exhausted, because while that is true, it's also exhilarating. And I also feel like saying words like that or phrases like that are just sort of self-fulfilling prophecies, and I don't want to feel exhausted. I mostly feel exhilarated. That being said, it has been a long 48 hours of moving, and that's just since Tuesday. Don't forget, I'm coming to you now, it's Thursday. And on Monday, the movers descended upon our house in Winter Park and packed us all up, and that was hilarious. That evening, if you thought I was saying we were living like gypsies before, Monday night was the epitome of living like gypsies. We were weaving through mazes of boxes. We had ordered Indian takeout for dinner. Then we realized our silverware was packed away. We went into one of our glove compartments and found some plastic utensils that way and made do. And Tuesday morning started bright and early, where we had to figure out how to transfer the dogs to the new house without interfering with the movers at the old house, and vice versa. So we got that done before our movers got there at about 8:30 in the morning. And evidently, in all of our research for this move, that moving companies or movers in general can be sort of like the biggest scam out there, which is unsettling to say the very least. But we got really lucky. We did get a few bids. We did our due diligence. We interviewed and asked for quotes from several companies. And one of my former brides and couples had just moved a couple weeks before we did, and I asked who she moved, and she recommended a lovely gentleman, lovely company. She said they had used them for 3 moves. We had him over to the house. He couldn't have been more professional or more proficient. That being said, his quote came in at about $5,000 more than the people we went with. And you know, I know I'm one for girl math, but that's a big swing. And again, all respect to this gentleman. I'm sure he runs a very tight ship and wonderful, but we could not have been more pleased with who we used for our move. And it is called Get It Done here in Orlando. Happy to shout them out through the rooftops. This is not sponsored. We definitely paid for our move and all of that, but I could not have been happier between the efficiency, the timeliness, the care, the consideration, and these were gentlemen. Like, they were so lovely and polite, and you know that goes a long way with me. So anyway, it has been, like I said, an odyssey, a very full 48 hours. This vlog will be mostly just filling you in and seeing and showing you how we've filled up the space. I just had this weekend's bride, Lauren, and her beautiful mother, PJ, just leave. They were actually my first visitors to the house, our first visitors to the house. So PJ and Lauren, if you're watching, thank you for being our first visitors. But they dropped off some of their personal effects that they would like for my team to take care of, which that's obviously our job. We love to do that through the course of their wedding weekend. And their wedding weekend starts tomorrow for me. So we have a 2-day installation. I have to be on site at the Ritz-Carlton tomorrow, a little bit before 11 a.m. That's when my first deliveries start arriving for their welcome party, which will also be hosted there. Then that evening, throughout the welcome party, I will head over to their reception space because my installation for Saturday begins, because we are doing this beautiful lighting canopy. We're going to be outside. We have done our work and we have prayed and we have good weather for Saturday. Thank goodness. So we have that going on. I have to oversee that and sort of be the project manager for that. And yeah, just start wheeling everything in. Of course, Jessica will swoop in on Saturday and just sort of resuscitate me with maybe a matcha. And she knows I love a good Wawa sub. So Jessica, you know the order: veggie sub, whole wheat, all the veggies, jalapenos, pepper jack cheese. Anyway, so thank you for letting me yammer on to you today. Let me show you what we've done so far. It's slight. The entire downstairs has been unpacked because yesterday evening, as Mr. Lyons went to bed, I thought to myself that I am going to be out of pocket for the whole weekend. I also cannot live in chaos. I am a very tidy person. I just wanted everything out of boxes. I wanted the boxes out of the house, in the garage, recycled. They were recycled this morning. Thank goodness they picked up all hundreds. And things aren't in their rightful place just now. They're kind of placeholders, but they're put away. Don't look inside the closets because things are stuffed in there. But by and large, it looks like we live here and it's so lovely. So let me show you around. Starting off with my office, and goodness knows, I hope you can hear me over the snoring from this one. You know what? This is also my sweet little grandson, my grand dog, Rocket, who is exhausted and probably has gained 5 pounds since my Carolina went on vacation to Mexico. And there's Zoe over there. Y'all do not pay rent. I feel like you should be doing a little something more to help with this move. But here we are in my office, sort of recreating what I had before. I have to move these in closer to each other. I tried to center it to sort of my fireplace right here, my faux fireplace. That's just not how the room works, so it's kind of bothering me, but that's okay. I put my fiddle fig tree plant from our living room before right here. I'm not sure that that's going to work here because of the sun. It's also enormous, which I'm proud of. Again, I said don't look into the closets, but you know what? We're transparent over here. I'm going to show you. So things are pretty stuffed in here. I think, oh, look at this. Never a dull moment. Thanks, Zoe. Well, Zoe just no harm, no foul. You looking at me like you've done absolutely nothing wrong. So we have, where were we? We have just sort of my office supplies that were in my previous home office here. I know I mentioned to you the problem that is the closet that Mr. Lyons and I share. Well, my solution to that was that all of my dresses actually hang now from, it kind of makes sense because this closet is big, but at the same time, it's, it is what it is. Anyway, and here is, we showed you this last time, the wedding emergency kit, things like that. This is an even hotter mess, my gosh. Send help. Like I said, don't look too closely in closets and drawers because it is a wild, wild ride. So here we are in the kitchen. You can see we filled it out quite a bit, at least what you see from behind me, and I'll walk you through it a little bit more too. Ooh, I see one of my dogs going upstairs, and that's never good. So one of our dogs, Zoe, the one who I call Queen, she's usually Queen, has decided it's her, and here goes the second dog up the stairs. What's going on up there? See, Rocket's such a good boy, you listen. Anyway, she has decided to mark upstairs. I want to say, thankfully, she's not urinating, and I'm sorry if this is TMI and too much. But she is going number 2. It's easier to pick up. It's less whatever. But I'm gonna have to get a baby gate. I didn't know at the age of 56 I'd need a baby gate, not for grandchildren. Anyway, I wanted to show you something I got that used to work in my old kitchen. These are sort of, you may have seen them in some videos I've ever shown. Glass jars, a lot of people hold these in their kitchens. I have like sugar, we have popcorn. Mr. Lyons loves popcorn. Sometimes he'll only have popcorn for dinner, but he likes the popcorn that you actually cook and pop, and not enough popcorn maker or anything like that. Some rolled oats, flour, of course, for my sourdough journey. I cannot wait to make sourdough here. It's coming. I just need the dust to settle a little bit. Rice, things like that. So I love keeping these in the glass jars, and these won't go to waste, but I have replaced them because I know I can use these in my pantry. And if I love nothing more than a beautiful kitchen and design kitchen, I love a beautiful pantry as well. So I got these a little bit larger because the scale of this house is so much bigger, not just in square footage, and actually the downstairs living space is equivalent to what we lived in previously. We just now have an upstairs area. And I got these same jars, just bigger in size. And I'm gonna open them up and unbox them, spare you through all of this opening thing, and I'll show you what they look like in a minute. Okay, now hopefully here you can see better for scale what I was talking about. Like this was the size of the jar. We'll put it in between so you can see. What do they say? I don't even know what the back of my hair looks like right now, because you know what, the back of the hair, what they say? The back of my hair is not my business. It's not. So you see what I mean? This is just a larger countertop than I had before, and I think that these make a better statement. So I'm gonna fill those up with our usual sort of dry goods and make that look a little bit better. And all in due time. The shelves are not completely styled the way I would love them to be. And that's fine. Like I said, it's only been 48 hours. We're working on it again, and I'm also walking into like 2-3 days of wedding and event production. So I know that, you know, my time here is limited. So I am creating a lovely little honey to-do list for my honey, Mr. Lyons. Are you watching? You watching? Good. You're gonna be busy this weekend, my love. Okay, so I am so glad. It was a very cloudy morning and the sun is starting to peek through, but I'll just show you about little pieces that are filling in. I think I mentioned to you before, the plan is here to remove these drawers, even though, don't tell anyone, I've already started to use it for things like little games, cocktail napkins, things like that. So they are handy. I just don't love the look of them, but we'll find somewhere for that. Playing with artwork, that'll go here. This will be the wet bar. I think I'm gonna fill this up with matchbooks. Stay tuned because you know I'm going to do some fun things there. Yeah, this is the kitchen so far. Like I said, the shelves are not styled the way I want. I had initially had all of our coffee mugs here. Didn't love the look of that. I felt like we looked like Starbucks. I'm just not the vibe I'm after. All of these books here will not stay here. Just had to get them out of the box last night. I told you it was speaking to me. Wedding photo. Oh, I have to gaze at this often these days as we are having disagreements on where things go here. We quickly, I will say in an instant, realized that the moment that this couch was placed here, we love the fit. We love the cozy vibes. The couch absolutely looks like carnage. It's awful. So we are on the hunt now. We know we want another sectional, but it's over 10 years old. It's had its time and it's been well loved, but possibly a little too well loved. Yeah, this is pretty much all we have filled in so far. Like I said, the bottom level, all of the boxes have been unboxed. Upstairs is not the case. That can either be Mr. Lyons' responsibility or we can get to it together next week. Last thing I think I'll show you is our closet, because that was the real Odyssey, if we're talking about Odysseys. So let's take a look in there. Also not paying rent, but looking so adorable. Okay, again, the little punch list keeps growing, but this is where we are here. And I know I sent a little preview, but this is where we are. We're stuffed in here. We have quickly realized that having a hamper and my husband's dry cleaning right here. Let's please note that my dry cleaning is nice and tucked away right there. It's just not going to work. We're going to have to figure something out either in the laundry room or a hamper in the bathroom, but this is just too tight. I will say he gave me grace. He gave me all of this side and sides. I have all of this up until like right here. Bless. Then he's got this and he's managing. I'm struggling. It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. Oh my goodness, when is it not humid over here? I cannot wait until I can actually wear my hair down again, ever again. I realized the lighting was poor before. It's been a really cloudy day, but I'm so glad I got to take you on another tour to see how we've settled some things in since we moved in a mere 48 hours ago. I mentioned that we had a punch list of things to do, and if I had to predict what we would do in no particular order, although I think I know the order here, is I think the first thing that we're doing is replacing that couch, because at this point I don't even think we can donate that to science. At some point, my husband decided that it was okay to let the dogs on the couch and have dinner, and it just became sort of this like petri dish, and I basically no longer sit there. At any rate, I think once we moved in, he realized that it just was not acceptable anymore. So I think that's going first. And then I think I mentioned in last week's video that we had done a meeting to talk to someone about renovating the kitchen, mainly looking at the cabinets and the countertops, I mean, virtually the kitchen. And so that came in, and then it dawned on us, it actually dawned on Mr. Lyons, that we have a mutual friend who I know through work, through business. He is a general contractor, and he is the husband of a woman that I work with all the time for my clients' wedding cakes. I mean, she is the Orlando cake baker, maker, artist, and dessert. Her work is phenomenal. Her name is Morgan Hunter. Her business name is Morgan Hunter Desserts, if you care to look her up. And her husband, Gene, is a general contractor. So he came over last week and met with Mr. Lyons, and I guess I was not here. While they were looking over the kitchen, he remarked that our cabinets were in excellent condition, and why would we want to replace them, and why wouldn't we just resurface them? So that got us to thinking, and then when he sent us a mock-up of it and then the estimate will save us not just a little bit of money, like tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't know that cabinets were so expensive. Neither did I know appliances. This is all new to me. I work in weddings. You know, weddings are my life, and special events. So I'm on board for that. I'm all on board for resurfacing. So I'm fairly certain that is the plan we're going to go with. We definitely agree that we want to bring the kitchen more in line with the house, a little bit earthier, and so we're going to have the cabinets be a sage green. The countertops will be a natural stone and natural granite, so not like the shiny marble or quartz or whatever. Those are really beautiful in some of the kitchens that I've seen. It just wouldn't really go with the vision that we have, so it's more of a natural stone. And then, you know, Mr. Lyons, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but Mr. Lyons used to own a restaurant and a barbecue restaurant, and I think we all know that he's done barbecue competitions and all that. But anyway, the kitchen is extremely important to him, so the functionality of it I'm letting him have, and together we're working on the aesthetics. So he also plans to replace the appliances to more professional grade, I guess, appliances. Don't ask me how a refrigerator can be professional grade, but evidently it can. It has to match the other appliances according to him. And you know what? I'm on board. I can really, really appreciate that. The next thing I think that will be on our list, at least that I hope, is the backyard, because I miss being outside. I had a wonderful summer in Michigan outside gardening, and I just didn't get to plant anything this season because we were in the midst of this move. So the next season, I think, to plant will be January. And I know that seems like months away, but in the grand scheme of things, with everything else we have going on, I know that's going to be here before we know it. But I would really, really like to have something in place. I know that we want to replace the grass out there with the artificial turf that I mentioned last time. It just works really, really well with the dogs. The aesthetic is perfect for me. It's always green, can hose it down, it's beautiful. But mainly I'm thinking about my garden beds and that greenhouse that I mentioned last week too. So I'm very, very eager to get that started too. I don't know if I just need to like play the lotto or what, because I just think these things are going to happen. But you know what? These things will happen. They will happen for me because I believe it to be so. So anyway, that's that. You know what's so funny is I just had the bride I mentioned earlier for this weekend, Lauren, and her beautiful mother PJ over dropping off some things. And it's so funny, as they walked in, you know, just kind of looking around. They know I just moved in 2 days ago. But it's so funny that I think the general impression is when people come to our home is that they think it's going to be a much more formal space. Like it's going to be more wedding-like my wedding persona, professional persona. But you know what? The absolute opposite is the truth. Like that, having that sort of day in and day out aesthetic is just not for me. I have a huge appreciation for it. In fact, I think 10 years ago, that's actually something I strived to do, which is so funny because I still had children in the house. But no, I think that's definitely not my at-home aesthetic at all. If anything, I strive for a really, and so does Mr. Lyons, he's 100% on board with this, a really cozy, approachable, relatable environment, not just for us to dwell in and day out, but like when we have our family and friends come over, we want them to feel like they can just sit down, they can grab a glass of wine, some water, whatever they want, and feel absolutely comfortable. Having it be super, super cozy is the main goal here. So also, PJ and Lauren, you were officially our very first visitors in here since we moved. So thank you for that. I can't think of two better people to have crossed our threshold. So I am, as I said, walking into about 3 days of production now for this beautiful couple and family. And so I wanted to get as much of this done that I showed you done before I was out of pocket for the weekend. This way I can be in the proper mindset for this weekend and its production. So thank you for being patient with this video and rolling with it. You know, when I posted last week's video of the empty home tour, I got a lot of messages, both privately on YouTube, other social media platforms, about please keep us posted on the progress every step of the way. Let us know what the furniture looks like when you start putting it in, what the styling is going to look like and everything that. And so that's exactly what I'm doing, and that's exactly what this channel is here for. It's not just to share my professional life and tips, which I love doing, but it's also to share the personal side of things as well. Next week will be fun. I have a big design meeting with one of my favorite design companies here, floral design companies, The Floral Way. So I will be meeting with Johnny and Jacob next week, and I will take you along in the studio for that. We will be planning some beautiful details for Elizabeth and Pat's wedding in March of 2026 at the St. Regis in Longboat Key, and so many beautiful details there. So I'll take you on that, hopefully share some scenes from this weekend's wedding with you as well. And so as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you think would like it as well. It means so, so much to me. And in the meantime, let's pray for endurance. I know I've got this. I'm so excited, and I'm excited to see you in next week's video. Bye-bye.